part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of November 2016. The time here is 09:54 WAST. Well, we seem to be going down a route in America, especially of a disaster. It can only be recognised as an unmitigated disaster. And I'm not really sure if anyone's actually grasped the full ramifications of what is coming and what will come. In any democracy, it's not very good to have two candidates who are what's the word? Not great at best. I'll be polite. But also the fact that you only have a one-horse race. And look, let's be honest, if you vote for Hillary, or if anyone votes for Hillary after the full disclosure of WikiLeaks, the full disclosure that she's a crook, the full disclosure that she's a nut job, all the essentials that go with that, then you are what we call here in Australia a bloody idiot. At best, or what's known around the world as a rigid cranium. There's no, I wasn't going to go on about politics, to be honest with you, because that's where we were never heading with all of this, if I remember, but I've just recently realised that what is currently going on in America, you know, the old saying, America gets a sneeze, the rest of the world catches a cold. Well, it does have massive ramifications for us here in Australia, especially because of our close ties. It does worry me in regards to the fact that, you know, the media, mainstream media here is just Hillary, 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 and Trump's sort of some nut job, which is ironic. So I would be saying, you know, it's not true for a start, and we really need to be careful of how this all turns out. You know, the ramifications are that the Senate, the Democratic Party, will be decimated. But you don't have a secondary or a third party to utilise within your electoral system. So who do you turn to? You just have the Republicans? And if everybody's sitting there thinking, well, Donald Trump's going to come in and put a big broom through everyone, well, Donald Trump won't be able to do that because he will be dead within 6 months. That's the full, you know, assessment of that. There's people there that just will not let him get away with anything, you know, literally. So, you know, the ramifications for the whole world are monumental. You know, in America especially, like they're past monumental. You guys are heading into something that we can only think of, you know, dream of, to be honest with you. Although in Australia we have a two-party political system, the same as America's, which thank God is broken up by our Senate, who has independent people in there. Praise God. Okay, well, my main concern at the moment as regards that is that I noticed that on YouTube and, you know, everything else, doing my research, that there seems to be a lot of influence with all the naysayers at the moment, and I've honestly, they can only be propagandists promoted by some other people. They put a big title up there and, you know, doesn't say anything for 15 or 20 minutes. The best I've found so far for factual information is the Next News Network and AMTV. They seem to be sort of like myself, tell it as it is, and there is no other way. Get the truth out there, you know. That's the main crux of this situation. But having said that, what worries me a lot is the fact that Obama has been sort of dismissed in the whole conversation, which honestly worries me immensely. And I sit back and I think, what is he doing? Just think about that, folks. This guy's a lame duck president. He's got virtually a couple of days left of his presidency, and after that, he's just a nobody. Now, It's been shown in history that people like that are pushed into a corner amount to very dubious decision-making policies, etc. So I am, honestly, I'm really, really worried about the way he's going about things. Not one single word, nothing, good or bad, nothing. As a president, shouldn't be upstanding and saying something. It's just phenomenal. And as you're all watching me here, and I'm actually gasbagging along, at the moment there's young men and women who are actually fronting up on front lines in Syria, in boats, on land. The US government in Turkey has told all its non-essential staff to leave. What's that tell you? It was hardly even made news, hardly made news at all. So all their families of everybody that's there is gone. So there's just basically, you know, the people at the front. We haven't heard jack shit, to use the expression, from Putin lately either, which they are key strategists, as we all know, the Russians. And when you poke them enough, the Russian bear is a very, very ominous attacker. So it's just something to keep in the back of your minds, folks. Maybe if anyone can speak in America at the moment, can speak to AMTV, or just try and get them to do something to find out what Obama's doing, because he's just doing nothing. And he's a guy with the lighted match standing next to a fuse. Really bad. As I said, the share price has started to come down. I would expect it to keep on going down. I don't think there's any way that's going to hold up unless people are so inclined to keep it up, which, let's be honest, are they anymore? Probably not. And you've got to wonder if all this is not some big propaganda stunt. You know, look over here, folks. Don't wait for the war in Syria. So all these things are going on. As I've always said, you need to look forward and let the flotsam and jetsam float by. One thing that I have noticed was interesting, and it made very little news as well, and this is the second time in a month, if I remember. And I don't understand the geographical, although I know America well, the geographical significance of this. Another oil pipeline or petrol pipeline burst, gas pipeline. We call it petrol. I'm guessing you guys call it, it's always called gas in America, gasoline. So you've had two in the same vicinity in a month when you've never had them before. Doesn't that seem odd to anyone in America? Two in a month, major ones. This one killed someone. I think the last one killed someone as well, if I remember. No, sorry, that just inexplicably burst at the newly replaced pipeline. Guys, you can't make this shit up. It's unbelievable. Okay, so I personally think they're doing it on purpose, because if they shut the pipelines down, you've got no fuel. Where can you get to? Nowhere. Stock up, folks. That's the point of this message. One of the big things that worries me about what's going on in America at the moment is that there seems to be, now whether they are individuals or propagandists, I don't know, but you can actually see on YouTube yourselves that there seems to be a lot of headings at the moment with revolution, and it's going to be war in America, and civil war, etc. Guys, that's an easy thing to say, but a hard thing to do. I would hope that this General Dunsford steps in and grows some gonads and actually gets it right, and says, no, this can't go on anymore like this. This is just ridiculous. because you are being essentially drawn into two camps, the blue and the red camp. I imagine there's a lot of green people who don't want anybody to get hurt at all, but I think they'll just get pushed by the wayside. So people need to start speaking out and saying, look, calm down, and revolution is at the worst extreme. It will be incredibly hard in America, and as I said, if it even gets to that, if you can get out, go on an extended holiday somewhere, Australia, for example, it's whack it on the credit card and get the hell out of there. Or if you can't do that, get a train, bus, anything that'll take you out to a small town somewhere with about 10,000 people, maybe less if you want, where you can live a comfortable life and learn about subsistence. I think that'll be better than most. Here's a weird one. Julian Assange. Where is he? I think he's brown bread himself, but I hope not. As a fellow Aussie, this would be a despicable act, not only for Australia, but for the truth itself. Now, he always ran that risk, as we all do, I guess, of speaking the truth, which in itself is pathetic these days, is it not? That we can't even speak the truth anymore. Sorry about that, it's the dogs. But I would be saying that unless he surfaces soon, there'd be a very big chance that he's gone. And don't you think it's strange that there has not been one iota of mention from anyone, especially the Australian consulate, government, no one? Amazing. It's too strange to thought with that. You know the rules. You've got to play by the rules, I guess. If you step outside that boundary, then you're all fair game. I still personally think that Julian Assange is just a middleman, and there's a bigger entity above Julian, probably two. It seems unfathomable to me that he could get so many emails. So I personally think that Anonymous is the person giving all these emails. Perhaps, who knows? Very weird, isn't it? The share prices, as I said, have gone down. We have now finally booked in and are actually having a meeting in WA. I'm not going to broadcast where it is. If you're in WA, you need to contact me by email no later than Thursday to be included in the meeting. My email is prep, P-R-E-P, prepper, P-R-P-A, Aussie, A-U-S-S-I-E, @gmail.com. If you send me an email, and you say you want to come, I will generally send you an email back inviting you and telling you where and what time, etc. For everybody else, it worries me greatly some of the comments I'm getting from America with regards to communities, etc. I've taken it on board, and I would like to offer this once, just once. If you're in America and you want to form a community, or you want to lead to form a community, please get in touch with me, and I will keep your email address, and we will set up a way to make sure that other people can get sent to you. Now, if you're a gun-toting, six-gun, Billy Bob redneck, who on his own would be good for a group, I've got to be honest, because everybody serves a purpose, if you know what I mean. 2 of you would not, 6 of you go and find your own group. That's the easiest way to say it. Which leads me on to another point. Sadly, let's bring this up, I guess. Sadly, in the future, society will, as we know it at the moment, will tend to break apart. The cohesion unit that we know and trust of a normalness of life will be gone. Now, 90% of most populations in 1930s, when the Great Depression hit, lived rural. 90% of the populations now live in suburbia. That's a big number. Take that in for a second. 3 million people in America, 3 million plus, starved to death. I'll probably grant you a lot of those were kids. You know, a big percentage would have been. There was no safety net in 1930 like there is now. In Australia, most people were already in the bush. Most people hunted and gathered for, grew subsistence crops for a couple of years. I've read up about it and it's quite interesting. But a lot of the Aussies kept that, and the Kiwis, kept that social cohesion because there was rules and standards. Folks, they hardly exist anymore. We have no social cohesion virtually at all. Why am I telling you this? Well, if you think that you can do this on your own in the future, you're wrong. If you think that you can do this without violence in the future, some form of violence, although I'm not condoning it, and I'm saying this as a man who is capable of violence. I worked on nightclub doors for 12 years. I've seen it all, I've done it all. I'm not saying condoning it anymore. I've kind of turned the other cheek on that regard. But if you think you can actually do this without some form of violence in the future, then you are sadly mistaken. There's people out there that will literally kill your whole family for a couple of bowls of cereal in the future. Something to take on board. And as I said, I'm not condoning the violence, but if a greater number of people against a smaller number of people will usually win out. But what if a smaller number of people are armoured to the teeth and the other people don't have any armour at all? Well, I'm sorry, but you're going to lose everything. Like I said, the social cohesion that we used to enshrine in each individual within each community is just about being stripped away bare. So please take heed of that and make sure that you account for that. I know that's going to be hard to hear for a lot of people who may be, everyday living people, never had a curse word said at them, etc., etc. And I understand that. I honestly understand that. But as I said, you need to align yourself with some form of preparedness in regards to violence. That's all I'm going to say. What you choose to do individually will be up to you. But what a community chooses to do collectively would probably be more in line with current thinking, which is prepare. Don't go out and seek violence. It's ridiculous. It'll come to you no matter what. So just sit back and wait for it. The best thing to do, as I said, is to get into a small town where you can join the local community, and I would probably say they will look after you, and you'll be taught a different way of life, and a better way of life, I'd probably say. A much better way of life than the life you're currently living. If you're living in an apartment in suburbia, which you probably thought once was the best thing since sliced bread. Anyway, look, as regards to the meetings, if you want in Australia, New Zealand, if you want to take on board being a group leader, for a better term, a community leader for this to happen, worries me greatly some of the things that I've heard about particular people setting this up, and you got Billy Bob Sixpack and his 6 guns walking in the meetings and stuff. That ain't the way to go, folks. So if you want my help, I will help you. But remember, I'm a bloke doing this on my own with this thing here. And all I can do is send you emails at best. And I can help you prepare. Or, form groups maybe. And that includes New Zealand. So I can send emails, help send people in the right direction. So hard, isn't it? Like we're talking about things here that we shouldn't be talking about, but unfortunately, that's the scenario that we're all in. Are you going to be prepared to lose everything because you can't protect yourself? No. So smarten up and get together. New South Wales and Queensland. I have a gentleman in Queensland now who's putting himself forward. His name is Marcus. That's all I'm going to tell you at the moment. He has put himself forward to be the coordinator for Queensland. I will be sending out a group email soon. I do not have anybody from New South Wales. Why? I have loads of people on email, but I haven't heard back from anybody in New South Wales, whether you're having meetings or anything, which is fine, but maybe if someone wants to get hold of the emails and get it out there. Because folks, we are literally standing, we're actually not, we've gone over the precipice. You all understand that. We've gone over the precipice. The banks are all bankrupt. The European Union's bankrupt. The American Federal Reserve's bankrupt. Australia's bankrupt. We're all bankrupt. We've got no money. The only thing that's holding our pants up is hot air. It could be a lot ruder, but I thought hot air was the best. Very soon, you're going to get a draft of cold air straight up your skirt. That ain't going to be pretty. All right, I'll leave it there for today. I've rabbited on enough. Take heed of the groups. As I said, we've run out of time. You are running out of time. Yeah, actually, we have run out of time. This needs to happen now. I'm not saying that to big note myself for anything. Look around, folks. There is no money. It's all gone. Look at the bond market at the moment. The American Federal Reserve must be spending billions each day to keep this going. Because the bond market is selling off big time on American bonds, and someone buying them. Who? It ain't me. And it isn't any hedge funds. Valiant the other day, I've written it down here, had a massive share fall the other day. And they pulled out of, all the big companies have pulled out of bonds ages ago and shut their markets down. So, can they keep this going for another year? Yeah, we said that. No problem at all. But I ain't wearing a tinfoil hat, folks. And I'm not a crackpot. I do know what I'm talking about in this regard. And so do a lot of very experienced people who are telling you, they're actually shrieking it out from the rooftops to tell you to get ready. So let's get ready, eh? God bless you all. We'll say the Lord's Prayer. Someone said to me the other day, do you say the Lord's Prayer because you think you have to, or do you say the Lord's Prayer because it gives you comfort? And I said, I say it because I want to say it, because in this crazy mixed up world that we live in, it's probably one of the few things that grounds me, grounds everybody. Because it's got morals inside the words that I remember every day I say it. And that's a spiritualist guy talking, I'm not a religious person otherwise, Okay, the Lord's Prayer, everyone. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. God bless everyone. Prep out. G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of November 2016. The time here is 09:54 WAST. Well, we seem to be going down the route in America especially of a disaster. It can only be recognised as an unmitigated disaster. And I'm not really sure if anyone's actually grasped the full ramifications of what is coming and what will come. In any democracy, it's not very good to have two candidates who are what's the word? Not great at best. I'll be polite. But also the fact that you only have a one-horse race. And look, let's be honest, if you vote for Hillary, or if anyone votes for Hillary after the full disclosure of WikiLeaks, the full disclosure that she's a crook, the full disclosure that she's a nut job, all the essentials that go with that, then you are what we call here in Australia a bloody idiot at best, or what's known around the world as a Richard cranium. There's no, I wasn't going to go on about politics, to be honest with you, because that's where we were never heading with all of this, if I remember. But I've just recently realised that what is currently going on in America, you know, the old saying, America gets a sneeze, the rest of the world catches a cold. Well, it does have massive ramifications for us here in Australia, especially because of our close ties. And it does worry me in regards to the fact that, you know, the media, mainstream media here is just Hillary, 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 and Trump's sort of some nut job, which is ironic. So I would be saying, you know, it's not true for a start, and we really need to be careful of how this all turns out. You know, the ramifications are that the Senate, the Democratic Party, will be decimated, but you don't have a secondary or a third party to utilise within your electoral system. So who do you turn to? You just have the Republicans? And if everybody's sitting there thinking, well, Donald Trump's going to come in and put a big broom through everyone, well, Donald Trump won't be able to do that because he will be dead within 6 months. That's the full, you know, assessment of that. There's people there that just will not let him get away with anything, you know, literally. So, you know, the ramifications for the whole world are monumental. You know, in America especially, like they're past monumental. You guys are heading into something that we can only think of, you know, dream of, to be honest with you. Although in Australia we have a two-party political system, the same as America's, which thank God is broken up by our Senate, who has independent people in there. Praise God. Okay, well, my main concern at the moment is regards to that is that I noticed that